Okay. Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Women's Advanced Bible Study night, Thursday night, the 2nd of March, 2023. Well, we're going to be dealing with chapter 28, breaking it down, explaining it for the topic. I'm asking everybody to go to our YouTube channel, Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have a lot of information in the videos, and they'll connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of our scriptures. And if you like what you are hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. So we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer, and Psalms. Again, we do some women's health, and then go to some current events and some need-to-know information and a Q&A. Okay? This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at this time, bow down with great respect for our Redeemer. Oh Lord, we confess through you confess through the prophet of Isaiah that You would return unto us, and that You would pour out Your Spirit upon us. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for Thine eyes are open upon the ways of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. O Lord, behold, Thou hast made the heavens and the earth by Thy great power, and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for Thee. And knowing all these things, O Lord, we eagerly await Thy coming, the day in which Thou wilt break the yoke of our oppressor. Peace be unto you. Okay? Somebody gonna read a song?
Shalom. I'll read the psalm. Sister Cheryl was supposed to, but I will read it.
Okay.
I will read let's see, Psalms 28.
Okay.
Psalms 28, a plea for deliverance, a psalm of David. Until Thee will I cry, O Lord, my rock, be not silent to me. Least if Thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto Thee, when I lift up my hands towards Thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace of their neighbors, but mischief in their hearts. 4. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands, render to them their desert. 5. Because they regard not the works of the Lord, nor the operations of his hands. He shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be the Lord, because he had heard the voice of my supplications. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. 8. The Lord is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointed. Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also and lift them up forever. That was Psalms 28, a plea for deliverance, a psalm of David.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to shine light on when it's talking about a lot of people not getting it, and it says those that go down into the pit. So, and what that does is when it's understood, it clarifies and it separates the Old and New Testament. But in Book of Enoch, I was reading this yesterday, I think it was, but chapter 10, and it's verse 13. It says, "In those days they shall lead off these seven angels. In those days they shall lead off to the abyss of fire." Right, that's the pit, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will be thenceforth bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobates and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. So when these 200 angels came about and they cohabitated with women and got these giants, they was children of fornication and reparation. At that point, the Lord Yahweh created this abyss of fire, and that it was created for that, for them. So that's that's what he's talking about when he say those that go down into the pit. They die, they go down. But Adam's descendants, the man he formed and the man he created on the sixth day, when they pass away, the body have no more life in it. It ascends. The Bible says when Abraham died, he was gathered into his fathers. He ascended. So when it's a pit, that's what it's talking about. Those wicked seed line. They die and go down to the pit because it was created for them. Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
Does that mean that then even so the wicked people also go there that may be from the descendants of Abraham?
Yeah, the unrighteous. But it wasn't. But in the beginning, it wasn't originally created for them. But if they chose to go the way of the wicked people, then that's that's allotted for them. But it wasn't. It was created in the beginning for the fallen angels and the giants that the fallen angels created, and everything according to DNA that came from that.
Oh, okay. So
right.
if you follow behind the wicked upon death, that's you descend.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of sin. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So we got some women's health.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone.
Okay.
Tonight, let's talk about food for medicine. The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Food can become your medicine to cure the various diseases. We can use various food ingredients in home remedies. Specific food recommendations and restrictions can help in treating diseases without medicines. Here are some general principles of food as medicine. Increase your fruits and vegetables. Minimize the use of refined sugar, candy, soda, carbonated drinks, and industrial or packed foods. Eat foods according to season. Foods in different diseases can vary. So, if a person suffers with the disease, then he might need to change his diet according to the disease. If food is correct and according to disease, it assists the medicine to cure the disease fast. On the other hand, if you're eating foods that worsen the symptoms of disease, then they may cause medicine failure. 6, simply speaking, the best way to think about food is that all whole foods are superfoods. Be sure to include a variety in your diet in order to partake in all of the Lord's natural healing gifts, such as ginger, nuts, seeds, olive oil, pomegranates, and honey. Foods of the Bible can bring healing to you more than ever today. We need to turn to God's Word for revelations on how to boost our immune system, maintain our ideal weight, have abundant energy, and live a life of sustained health. When our Lord created the world and everything in it, He blessed them all. Everything that God made is good: the trees, the animals, the vegetation, and so on. Genesis 1, verses 29 through 31, the giving of food. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in, and every tree in thee which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So let food be your medicine, and medicine be your food.
Okay. Appreciate that information. Okay. We're gonna go into our current events. Got a couple right here, and then I'll play a little bit and discuss it.
All right, so we've come across some crazy, strange things before in a lot of these videos, right? But alien tombs? This video says alien tombs and alloy artifacts found in Russia, possibly. I'm gonna lean on maybe not, but who knows? No judgment. Just going off the title. So we're gonna check it out. So if you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and join the fam. Let's see what they talk about.
In 1973, Eric Anton Paul von Däniken would publish a book that would change the world. Because of this publication, Eric is thought of as the pioneering advocate of the ancient astronaut theory. He was solely responsible for bringing the ancient alien hypothesis to public attention.
I was about to say, remember they talked about that astronaut-looking thing? They called that an alien. I've seen that so many times throughout a lot of videos, man. It's like etched in stone in my brain now.
His book, Gold of the Gods, included extensive research regarding a lost and very ancient city buried beneath most of Ecuador. In the book, he would detail talks with a man known as Janos Juan Moritz, a figure who had managed to extensively explore the abandoned ancient underground tunnel systems. The entrance to this forgotten world is entered through the Cueva de los Teos, the Teos Cave. While exploring, Janos claimed to have stumbled across a secret passage, which led to rooms filled with mounds of golden jewels and coins, and a golden sarcophagus placed within an intact ancient metallic library, containing books made from a strange metal. Janos's research suggested that the golden fortune, along with the sarcophagus and metallic library located within the artificial tunnels, had been placed there by a lost civilization with the help of extraterrestrial beings. Did Janos Juan Moritz actually stumble upon an ancient alien tomb? A tomb which had managed to survive many thousands of years without being disturbed? Not only were the claims within von Däniken's book taken seriously, they resulted in the most expensive cave exploration ever undertaken. Stan Hall from Britain commenced upon this expedition in 1976 with the goal of finding the golden artifacts and hopefully an alien corpse. The expedition included over 100 people, including experts in a variety of fields, British and Ecuadorian military personnel, a film crew, and even former astronaut and first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong. The team also included 8 experienced British cavers who thoroughly explored the riskier of ancient tunnel systems, successfully conducting an accurate survey of the complex, producing a detailed map of the buried city.
Military gadgets are changing people's physique, and here's why. These military special forces are becoming stronger fast by breathing.
Unfortunately, little evidence of von Däniken's more exotic claims was found or remained. It is always a possibility that funded tomb robbers made it there first. It took over a year for Stan Hall to...
I think they took an alien tomb, though. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of things have been taken, and that's why we have all these gaps of information that we need to piece together.
Matching opposite piece to an as yet unknown puzzle. Lab tests
results concluded that upon the back of the stone, where 3 pits were visible, was likely where larger grains had fell out over time. However, a pattern was deliberately placed on the back, found with a series of embedded calcite-like crystals in the shape of an X or cross. They also discovered the stone had a strong magnetic attraction, narrowed down to the presence of magnetite. An energy dispersive fluorescence spectrometer, or EDXRF, confirmed the presence of this strange iron material.
Anytime I see that or hear something like that, I think something that came from outer space or from another.
An English stockbroker turned the...
So where I'm going with this is that they're saying that all this tied to the Russian people, and that they're not originated from here in America.
Venturer, who in 1943 began displaying a skull at dinner parties, which he called the Skull of Doom. His daughter Anna later claimed that he had found the skull in a ruined temple in Belize during the early 1920s. However, this was later found to have been a lie. Investigations by the Linnean Society of London, a research institute specializing in taxonomy and natural history, revealed that Mitchell Hedges actually purchased his skull at auction at Sotheby's in London in 1943. How it came to be at the auction house, however, was never established.
Can't trust nobody these days, man.
Which is unfortunate, because the Mitchell Hedges skull, according to Walsh's scrupulous examination, is the only one she has ever had to reluctantly confirm as an authentic crystal skull. What's more, it is the only academically accepted original known within the public archive.
Yeah, so what they're saying is that these skulls supposedly had originated from Russia, and it's tied to the origins of the people from Russia. But you know, you want to go into that a little more, investigate, you can. Okay?
And while the G20 can't get over the war, the Americans are working on another front, fighting China. Apparently, the US is now convinced that it has a quote-unquote existential struggle with China. So in a rare show of unity, Democrats and Republicans are coming together to fight the dragon. Washington is also working on what's being called an Anti-China Coalition. It is threatening Beijing against giving weapons to Moscow. But America itself is sending more weapons to Taiwan. And of course, it has started talking a lot more about the Wuhan virus leaking from a Chinese lab. So connect the dots and you'll see how the US is preparing to fight China on multiple fronts. We'll start with what US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said about China this week.
We've been watching it very carefully from day one. And the reason that I raised this not only with Wang Yi last week, but also publicly, along with other colleagues in the administration, is because of concern we have based on information that we have that China is considering moving beyond the non-lethal support that some of its companies have been providing to actually lethal material support for Russia's war effort in Ukraine. And what I can share with you is that we did very clearly warn China about the implications and consequences of going through with providing such support. We will not hesitate, for example, to target Chinese companies or individuals that violate our sanctions or otherwise engage in supporting the Russian war effort.
An open threat to China. If it gives lethal aid to Russia, it will suffer consequences. That's what Blinken said. And now his government is walking the talk. The US is talking to its close allies about sanctioning China. It has reached out to members of the G7, the group of 7 countries, the world's top 7 economies, minus China, of course. Washington is exploring sanctions on China, but it's not going to be easy because China is not Russia. Countries around the world, including in the West, have business interests with China. They may not be ready to fight it. In fact, one of them says there isn't enough intel about China providing support to Russia. The US, on its part, says it is constantly providing all relevant intelligence to its allies. And therein lies the crack in America's embryonic alliance against China. Nonetheless, Washington is exploring the possibility of sanctions. And while it prohibits China from giving weapons to Russia, the US itself continues to give more weapons to Taiwan. Of course, they can justify it, but the contrast is obvious. The US has approved a $619 million arms sale to Taiwan. This includes missiles for Taiwan's F-16 fighter jets. They're talking about hundreds of missiles and $619 million, figures that China won't like. And there's more. On Tuesday, the House Foreign Affairs Committee passed 8 bills. What do these bills do? They either support Taiwan or they counter China. Either way, they hurt China's interests and ambitions. And from Beijing's perspective, Washington is being hypocritical. If the US can arm Taiwan, why can't China arm Russia? That's their question. And China isn't as polite as the US when it comes to issuing threats.
We urge the US to pull back before it's too late, stop stepping on the edge, taking salami tactics, and breaking through red lines over the Taiwan question, as well as quit confusing the public and talking nonsense. If the US persists, it will cause severe consequences and pay a heavy price.
Quit confusing the public and talking nonsense. China is not mincing words. It is also unwittingly bringing together American lawmakers, and at prime time, no less. There's a new Congress in place on Capitol Hill. Republicans control the House of Representatives. Democrats have a thin lead in the Senate. There's an important committee in the House of Representatives. It's called the House China Select Committee. This committee focuses on economic and security competition between the US and China. It's more or less the committee that drives US policy vis-a-vis China. On Tuesday, this committee had a session, and China became a punching bag. China was punched really hard.
There's no doubt that the growing aggression of the Chinese Communist Party poses a generational threat to the United States.
Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? It sounds like war to me. They gearing up for war. Anybody got any comments?
Yeah, I definitely see that coming. As far as my understanding, I think Blinken met with one of the Russia. I don't know if he was an ambassador, or I know he's affiliated with the leadership in Russia. He met with him and they had some words, I think recently this week. And so, it definitely is something going on. They're not being, I think, totally forthcoming with the people about what it is, but there's definitely something is afoot between the two countries.
Right. It's all staged. They just set it up, set up everything with Dom Hussein. Somebody else got to come.
Shalom.
Okay.
I have one thing. Like in Matthew 24, 6 and 13, about wars and rumors of wars, it's coming out. Because they got rumors
Prophecies.
now talking about a war could come about.
Prophecy coming to pass.
Shalom, I like to add something as well. When we talk about the in just the title, when we say Satan and demons and the fallen angels and all of that, the cahoots that they have when they don't tell the people what's going on, they know what's going on, just like with the COVID. All of these world mass plagues or destructions. It's everything behind the scenes. And now that all of these scales are coming off our eyes and we're seeing these things, it's like a matrix to them, showing us the stuff that they're doing. So with us being the scales are being moved and we're steadily being taught of the truth and what is right, that frustrates, just like in the Garden of Eden, just like when the fallen angels fell and they wanted to be greater. So they're trying to make, because this earth is theirs, show their greatness by wars.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how they progress. Too rich, causing war.
Can I ask you a crazy question?
What's that?
With regards to, this just something just doesn't feel right about at this point, trillions of dollars that they're giving Ukraine Could it be that they're all really coming together to get in preparation for this final war, that they're just stockpiling stuff? Or is it really some kind of adversarial thing between Ukraine and Russia? That, to me, is it possible, just just thinking outside the box, could they all be like going to come together to fight against Israel? Or is it really what it seems?
Well, it goes back to, like I was saying before, where it's the whole world been hoodwinked, is the fact that the people that's over there in Israel right now, they're not the real Israelites. And then you have to go back to when did the real Israelites lead there, where they at now, and who these people are. So the Bible tells you when Jacob and Esau was born, Jacob was the promised seed, but Esau, they were fighting in her womb. But Esau came out first. And then because Esau came out first, Jacob grabbed a hold of his heel. So that's a prophetic sign showing you that Jacob was cast out the land. Esau stole the land, and he posing as the Israelite. But in the last days, the end of this world right here is the beginning of Jacob regaining his rulership. So when you see all this stuff that Esau doing, he's the one behind all the chaos. And so his original land that was given to him is Ukraine. And so him knowing the prophecies, he's trying to recapture his land to get out of the land of Israel, because Israel's gonna be the people that's over there now that's faking. They're gonna be, it's a prophecy that they're gonna get judged in the land where they cause the deception at, where they shed the blood of Israelites in. So now they see that prophecy starting to come to pass. They seeing the Most High on the move. They trying to get out of Israel. They trying to confiscate their homeland back, which is Ukraine. So these bankers, the one controlling all these presidents of all these countries. So these bankers got them put all that funding, all that money over to Ukraine.
So how does America benefit from that?
They not. Bankers are more the bankers behind it. It's just like if you go back to Hitler. Hitler was a Edomite, an Israeli Jew, and they was funding him. But you got to ask yourself, who was it that was funding him? Where he got all his money from? DuPont, Caterpillar, all these companies that these bankers control. They got front people like, these certain families that own these companies, but these bankers controlling all that money and all that revenue. So back in the 90s, they told all them companies, people don't even pay no attention, but you don't see none of those companies no more. You don't see DuPont, you don't see Caterpillar, you don't see all these Westinghouse and all that. You don't see them no more. Or General Electric, because them bankers took all them countries, all them companies, and took them to China. That's why China rose up. And so that's what they've been doing forever and a day. They the one controlling all the wealth of the world behind the scenes, but they got the people thinking that, oh, you look over here and these people got a certain amount of money. Yeah, they just holding it. They front people for the people that's really running the world. These the World Bank and all that, these Edomites. They the ones dictating all this. They the ones concocting the New Testament. They behind the scenes controlling all this and got everybody else on something else. They doing their dirt over here with their left hand, and they waving their right hand, got everybody watching their right hand. You have to understand that in order to rightly divide what's going on.
Brother Leonard, can I ask a question as well?
Go ahead.
So when you talk about those, hiding the money, are we talking the Vatican and the Pope area over there, the British and the Europeans? So with the falling of these banks and they're taking all that money, trying to stash it under the Vatican.
Right.
They're
hoarding
those, right, hoarding it, and those are the controllers.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And a prime example of that is the transatlantic slave trade. Esau behind it, but he didn't want nobody to know his face was on it. So he had all these different companies, these front companies that he had But there's one group of people controlling the whole transatlantic slave trade. But when we look at the history books, they'll say the Westinghouse Shipping Company, which had a bunch of ships, and this other company had, but the whole time these bankers own these companies, but they got people fronting for them, like they the owners, but they're not the owners. Even with like the oil industry, you got Shell and you got Exxon and all that. Them front people, these bankers own all that, but they got the world looking at it thinking that it's like somewhat equally divided up, but no. It's the Rothschilds and these Edomites that's who the Most High is talking to in the Old Testament. In these last days, who he's going to get rid of? It's them. They manipulating everything behind the scenes, manipulating the people. And most people don't understand that. Like the Bill Gates and those type of people. They all from it's a nation of people. But we looking at it thinking that they random and they not no kin or nothing, but they all in cahoots together. It's like the Federal Reserve. People think the Federal Reserve is a part of the United States. No, these Edomites, these bankers own the Federal Reserve. That's how they got control of the world, the wealth of the world. They hijacked the United States.
And they're
right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, sir. You could go ahead.
No.
But I was just going to add. I was going to add, like you were saying, to the how they say the man behind the curtain. With
Right.
Wizard of Oz. So they're
Right.
using these people like the Bill Gates, the Elon Musk,
Right.
those generational people who come from those wealthy families, and they're using them to control it through technology now.
Right. Exactly.
Bringing all of this stuff into fruition, so they can regain control here on Earth, and that's all they're concerned about, this earthly world here,
Right.
to gain the control.
Exactly. Right. And like I was saying with the when you go back to, I kind of mentioned a little bit, I think on the Shabbat, was this IUS, Ulius, like Julius Caesar, all these Tiberius. So you got to go, people, nobody trace their origins. You got to trace their origins back. It's to those fallen angels, 200 fallen angels. And so because they where their origins from, they feel like they got the right to rule the world. They got the right to do stuff like what they did with the transatlantic slave trade, because the humans that's on the earth is beneath them. So they got this demeanor as if they got a right to do all the stuff, all these atrocities that we see them doing, like what George Bush did, and in 2000, when all the people that was killed over in Iraq and Iran and all that. They don't. It's not. It's not nothing wrong with what they're doing when they kill thousands of people behind what they got going on. And so nobody knows that, and they took away the understanding that these fallen angels came down. They didn't put some kind of twist on it where people, you can believe it or you don't want to believe it. It happened and it did happen. But the truth of the matter is, it happened. These angels came down, slept with women, got these giants, and then you got people today that came forth from these giants. It's just that they're not the size that they were because of the source. The 200 angels were bound. So he took away the source that gave them their height. So they started becoming smaller and smaller to now they're amongst us, but they fit right in with us. But their origins and their DNA is from these fallen angels. That's what they mean by these 13 so-called 13 families, like the Windsors. They think they got a right to rule because of where they originated from. But the world been duped through history and all that, and through the hoodwinking of our scriptures, to not know none of these things. Yeah. And so once you see it, your understanding you start gaining a greater understanding, because you can see them behind the scenes manipulating everything. Yeah. So I got a question. Anybody ever see 300?
Yeah, I saw it. This Tasha.
Yes, I saw it. This Joy.
Remember the King Leonidas?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when right before he got ready to go to war, he took those 300 and they had to go into that little narrow passage because
Right.
they wanted to seal off that army that was coming from Babylon, seal that gorge off.
Right.
But first he went up way up. He went up on top of these mountains in this cave, and those 7 men was in there. They looked like they was albino. They had the skin was messed all up. It probably went over your head. Nobody probably ain't check it out. Anybody remember that?
I don't
Yes.
remember that part.
Yeah, go back and look at it. He went up. He right before the war. He went up there. He had to go consult them.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
oracles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the oracles. Yeah.
It's actually called, when you do your research on it, they're intelligentsia is what they are. And it got all these different myths about these intelligentsia that nobody that's ruling the world. But that's what that is. That's those people is what they're talking about. And so we noticed that they was leopard looking, and they had sores all over their skin. But what they wanted from Leonidas was gold and women, young women.
Yeah, I remember
Right.
that now.
So young women, children. That's where the pedophilia and all that's coming from. Yeah.
And the way they showed the king, that Persian king, he was a giant.
Right.
He was human.
Exactly.
He was bigger than all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he was toting him around on that throne. Right, exactly. And then another part in that story too was those Spartans. They had a birth rate problem. They was having so many kids that was defective. So they just take the defective ones, throw them over the cliff. They had a cliff. They just throw them over. And so, like I said today, all you have to do is get you some lemonade and a chair and sit on the side of the highway and look. Every other car that passed by is going to be a little bitty messed up white kid with his face up against the window. But nobody ain't paying no attention to none of that. And so that's what he was telling us about when he told us don't intermingle with them, because we're gonna start getting those genes. And so you say, what are you talking about? Well, he told the Levites when they came in the temple, can't nobody come in there with no defects on him. If it was a Levite came in the temple with a defect, he couldn't come in the temple. Same thing with sacrificing the rams and the goats and all that. You can't sacrifice no lame ram or no defective ram. That's the quickest way to leave here. To come up in the temple with a defective animal, trying to sacrifice it. Lord, the host's gonna kill you. So that tells you right there, and it goes along with why they freaked out on Joseph when he went to Egypt. The women freaked out on Joseph because he was a perfect specimen. Noah, he said Noah was perfect in his generation.
I thought Noah was albino.
No, that's the people I'm talking about. They the ones behind all that. So when Cain killed Abel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tell you it's some kind of mark or tattoo they put on his face. No, he took the melanin from him and turned him white, right? So how can Noah be an albino? Think about that. The sign that the Most High got a problem with you is when he take away the melanin. He took it away from Miriam. Let's read that right quick. I read it the other day. I'm gonna read it again. Let's look at it. So I'm in Numbers, chapter 11. You say the New Testament is a trick they didn't put on us. This what I'm talking about right here is a big trick too. Nobody not really dealing with it. So let's look at it. Chapter 12, starting at verse 2. Let me know when you get it.
Hold on, take me a second. Okay, go ahead.
It's chapter Numbers 12 and 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, right? What do leprous mean? White as snow. He took the melanin from her. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. Now look what Aaron said. Aaron said unto Moses, Atlas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not this sin upon her. So when he took the melanin from her, she was a black woman. When he took the melanin, she was white as snow. And when they seen it, it was a problem. He said it was sin. See that? He says, sin upon her, wherein we have not, where ye have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Then 12, let her not be, look at this, when he saw the skin, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when it comes out of his mother's womb. So when a kid or a child of color is born, they don't have color when they first born. But after a couple of weeks or months, the skin come on, the other layer of skin come on, the melanin take over. So Moses said right here, 12, let her not be as one is dead, whom the flesh is half consumed when it cometh out of his mother's womb. So when an African American or a man of color is born, he's pale. Then the melanin comes in, and they get their color after a couple of months or so, 6 months. So anyway, 13, and Moses cried unto the Lord, see that, saying, heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. So the angel, the Lord of hosts, took the melanin from her. So he's angry right here. Miriam talking against Moses, and he came down, he angry. And then say, when in the cloud, when the cloud went back up, the melanin went back up with him. She was standing there white as snow. Same thing happened to Cain. Cain killed Abel. He came, he was angry. He took the mark that was on Cain, he took the melanin from him. Except that Moses wasn't there, or Aaron, wasn't nobody there to intercede for Cain. So he left Cain like that. And we see all through the scriptures he doing that. He did it to Gehazi, Elijah's servant. Yeah. So that's what that is. So we brainwashed, and we're not even the sign. He got the sign right here, but we're not looking at it. But we can see the results. We see their characters and their behavior, but we haven't added this up. This is the sign right here. You know, that's a hard pill to swallow though, but you know, I'm just laying it out for you. So anyway, so that's what all that is. That's what all that's about. And he even told the Pharaoh, Moses, before he went to the Pharaoh, he showed him the trick. Put his hand up in his garment in front of the Pharaoh. And he brought it back out, and then half of the arm was white. So, yeah. So like I was saying before, how can Noah be an albino when you understand what leper means, and what albino means, and then he tell us in the Bible that Noah is perfect. So how can he be an albino? Have you ever anybody ever witnessed an albino animal? Seen one?
Not in person.
I haven't seen albino animal.
I had all kinds of experiences. Like I'll go even further. You ever seen a albino cockroach?
Yes.
No.
He can't
yes,
move.
I did.
Yeah, he can't move.
Yeah,
right. There's something wrong with him. And even the regular animals, in any species of animals, if there's an animal that's albino, the rest of the animals get away from him.
Right.
And he eventually die. So ain't no way Noah albino. That's Esau. Denigrating our patriarchs. Yeah.
So if we,
he was an alcoholic. He wasn't no alcoholic. Go ahead.
So
Somebody
if
had something?
yes, sir. So if we bring that to current, when we see our our melon people alike, brothers and sisters, children being captured, being killed, being taken and experimented on because they want to try and get the melon to put in them. They want to interact, and if they feel as if they get some melon, then they can get back. And they want to have this melon. So that's if we go current, that's what they're doing, trying to get this melanin to them. Again, this earth is theirs, and so they're trying to recreate what Yah has already created.
Right. That's the life source. That's what he breathed in Adam, was the melanin. So that's what the big campaign going on with the television. Every commercial, all of a sudden, back in the 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, it was unheard of. A black man with a white woman and that interracial thing. Now they promote it like 900 all over television. Every time you see a commercial, it's an interracial family.
Even in the cartoons, they're doing it.
Right. Because now they're trying to steal the melanin back. That's the way I'm stealing the melanin, getting the melanin. Because after so long, like I said, when we start dealing with albinoism and leprosy and that complexion of skin, it starts subtracting its own self. Eventually, like right now, they're in the midst of a negative birth rate. That's what this thing is about trying to get the melanin. And then you would think that they're so intelligent because they have one kid, they have two kids. No, they got to have one kid because that's all they can get is one good kid. The rest of them throw it off, or they got them somewhere in some institution. That's all they can do is get one good one. Huh?
And I'm going to take it even a step further. You notice that this whole thing with the sports and the NFL, all of these elite athletes, who do they tend to marry? Who do they tend to surround them around? They're trying to breed a superior race.
Right. Exactly. It's exactly going on. But like I say, through the New Testament, people don't know the ramifications of the ideologies in the New Testament and the reason why they concocted it. So we are blind behind that. Like I said before, they don't tell you it's right there in the scriptures that it was a gymnasium in Jerusalem when Jesus came. Our forefathers weren't dealing with no gymnasium. There's a gymnasium in there. Look today. Like I said, from the time we born to 18 years old, we raised in the school system they got. What they got there, gymnasium. That had nothing to do with us. So what's happening in the gymnasium? We coming together, mingling with them, interacting with them. And like I said, the scripture tell you that to see that skin is something wrong. But we don't see that because we've been hoodwinked. They've done it through the New Testament.
So how will we be divided? So I guess I had asked this before, and I'm still trying to get understanding of that. We had talked about the remnant that's going to get left behind in order to bring us back together. So what happens to us?
Yeah, like I was saying, if you go back to the flood, right? He kept Noah and Shem to replenish the earth. Even in the beginning, when he created the man and woman on the sixth day, he said replenish the earth. So it was people there before that. So then the man he formed, he separated him and put him in the garden. So that's what got to happen to us. Now we can't do it on our own because we so far gone. So he got to come back. We take that remnant and separate it. That's what turning our captivity and taking us back to our homeland is all about. He got to come and separate us like he did before from them. Because they didn't brainwash us. We got so many ideologies that they hoodwinked us to we can't do it on our own. He got to come and do it.
Okay, so this might be a ridiculous question, but I guess I'm thinking literally though, because through slavery we have intermingled with them,
right?
By the blood, and even some would say by love, but there's more of us intermingled by force. Will we be separated out? Because we didn't arrive here like this.
Right. That's the difference in my interpretation and showing people how the difference in the Old and New Testament. We see the God that's in the Old Testament. He had those capabilities. We saw in Zechariah where he told Joshua that I'm gonna make your sin go away. I'm gonna remove the sin. He ain't gotta do no trick, no kind of trick, or he ain't gotta lay no hands on nobody, nothing. He told him, I've made your sin go away. So he tells us when we go back to the land of Israel, it's a temple open. It's water, pure water there. We're gonna drink that water, and it's gonna purify us.
Hmm.
You know, the righteous ones. So like I was saying, it's the DNA. So you say, what are you talking about? He have a covenant with David, right?
Right.
And we know that some of those kings, the Bible tells you, some of those kings that was there was wicked. It would say such and such began to rule in Israel, and he did that which was wicked. So the covenant he got with David is, although you're gonna have some wicked ones, when at the time appointed, I'm gonna always bring a righteous one up. You might have 3 or 4 wicked ones, but then I'm gonna bring a righteous one. So when you understand that, he controlling the DNA. He said, I'm gonna always bring, when they start going away from me, I'm gonna raise up a king just like you, just like David, a righteous king with the right understanding, the right DNA in him, and he's gonna bring Israel back. And so examples of that is Hezekiah, Josiah, Jehoshaphat. He would always raise up a righteous king. So that's specifically dealing with the DNA. So it's not something that he can't do.
I'd like to I don't know if I'm saying this right or not, but to go back to what Tasha was trying to say about, you know, the intermingling and some of them, you know, did that. So when we go back, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir, when we go back and look at that for what Tasha is saying, to say, well, it happened. So, you know, pretty much, well, what happened to those people, you know, with that intermingle? The curse was put out ever since the garden, and those things happen to them. So as we continue to go current into the present day, like you said, that there will be someone that is going to bring us back, and us,
Right.
meaning if we as a human being, us person, we could be our children's children, is we could be we don't know when, but it would be we would be the present when he comes. That's the we, not the we of old, or when, you know, back when you talk about slavery.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, when you bring that up, you know, it takes me to Malachi, and so this is the purpose of Elijah right here, this discussion right here. So you go to Malachi chapter 4. Malachi chapter 4. So I think it's like 6 verses. So let me know when you get it.
Okay.
So I'm in chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud." So this DNA right here. All the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, says the Lord. It's DNA. Just like hay, you got a match, a torch, and you round some hay. That hay in trouble because it's designed to be burnt up. So these wicked folks, they stubble. When the fire comes, they stubble, but everybody ain't stubble. You got some righteous people in there. So anyway, it says, stubble, and the day that comes, it shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts. That it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That's his objective, to get rid of you that fear my name. See that? Shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves and stars, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, says the Lord. Remember ye the laws of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb, for all Israel with statutes and judgments. Now here you go. Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day. So before the Lord of hosts comes, he's going to send us Elijah coming back. That's why he didn't die. Not 6. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers. That's the people that he raised up in Ezekiel 37, our forefathers that we're reading about. They says, and he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children, that's us, we the children, the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a smile, with a curse. So what Elijah possess that we don't possess? He ain't been hoodwinked. He wasn't dealing with no New Testament. He wasn't dealing with no Yahweh Shai and all that. So Elijah is the medium in between when our forefathers are raised up and he bring our forefathers, bring us back to our forefathers. Elijah is the one there to mediate that.
So I understand that about the traditions and all of that, but I
Right.
guess I'm going literally. Even what Joyce was trying to was saying what I was saying, but what I'm literally talking about, if today was today, Tasha West, multiple generations have made me who I am.
Right.
How would I be separated out? Because I know that on at least on both sides of my family, there is their DNA and my DNA. How would I be
Right.
separated?
Right. So like I said, all I can do is show you in the scriptures. I'm in Ezekiel, right?
Okay.
It goes back to these words. It goes back to the definition they gave you of these words that ain't right, ain't correct. So I'm in Ezekiel, right? I just talked about it, 37.
Ezekiel 37. Okay.
And I'm in starting at verse 20. I'm in verse 20.
Verse 20. Okay.
Say, and the sticks, it's 2 sticks, Judah and Benjamin, Judah and the southern and the northern kingdom. They got separated. And the sticks wherein thou shalt see in thine hand before thine eyes, and say unto them, thus says the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. That's where we at now, whether they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, bring them into their own land, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king over them all, and they shall be no more 2 nations, neither shall they be divided into 2 kingdoms anymore. Now here you go, just the answer. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgression, but I shall save them out of their dwelling places wherein they are seen, and I will cleanse them. See that?
Yeah.
All the intermingling, whatever it is you got in you that didn't come from our forefathers, he cleansing it right here. I will cleanse
Mm-hmm.
them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd, and they shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. And so we know right here, David dead, but he's telling you right here, David gonna be the king because he's gonna raise him up.
I lost my place. You said Ezekiel what now?
Ezekiel 37, and the verse I went to was 23.
27. Okay. Thank you.
37 and 23. So cleanse means purifying, getting that all everything that wasn't supposed to be there out. Which is the same thing with Noah. When he said Noah was perfect. Noah was the only reason why he had to come and brought the flood when he did. Noah was the only man left that hadn't been intermingled. Him and his household. Like all of the giants and all the other people had intermingled with everybody else. They had cohabitated with him too. It was only Noah left and Shem and his wife. So it wasn't he just popped up on the scene. He had to come when he did, because if Noah would have got defiled, he wouldn't have been nobody left on the earth that came from the DNA of Adam. That was like Adam, because there was so much intermingling going on. That's where we at right now. And so that's why he's saying what he's saying right here in Isaiah. Let's look at it. Isaiah 44, right quick. Isaiah 44. Isaiah 44, I'm reading verses 1 through 5. So it says, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus says the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jezreel, whom I have chosen. I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, right? That's the people that are looking for the truth, got a desire for the truth. And floods upon dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed. See that? Seed. Certain people, certain race of people. Pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thy offspring. Seed of Israel, offspring of Israel. And that's where we at now. That's what brought about all this, these camps and all that, because he didn't pour the spirit out on us. We're waking up. But some to righteousness and the right understanding, and some to unrighteousness. But they starting to wake up. He pouring the spirit out on them. And the end result of that is, I just showed you, going to take the remnant back and cleanse them of all uncleanness. The Bible says it's going to be a river of pure water open in the temple when we get back. And when we drink that water, it's going to cleanse us. That's what he means by cleanse. What they got, they didn't give us the mindset of all this esoteric and magic and all this stuff they gave you. When they ain't how it's going down. Yeah.
You just read from 44 chapter 44 of Isaiah, and what verse was that, sir?
1 through 5. That's a prophecy. Yeah, that's a prophecy. End time prophecy.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So let me see what I got. Yeah, I want to play this right here. This is some need to know information. Okay. Okay.
Work on a third temple proceeds, along with the creation of temple vessels and the preparation of the Levites and Kohanim who are designated for temple service, despite the Muslim community's persistent efforts to refute the very existence of a historical connection between the modern Jewish state and ancient Judea. Even the smallest traces of the first and second holy temples are regularly covered or destroyed by the Jerusalem Islamic Authority, the Waqf, in an effort to refute the Jewish claim to the Temple Mount. Since the Israeli government awarded the Waqf sovereignty in 1967, the Waqf has virtually prohibited Jews and Christians from worshiping on the Mount, and has occasionally even prohibited their entrance to it. This is done in coordination with the Israeli police. Jews pray every day. May it be your will that the temple be swiftly restored in our own time, despite the fact that the Israeli government permits the police to enforce this unfair practice. Since the Roman general Titus destroyed the final Jewish temple in AD 70, they have continued to do so. A temple in waiting has practically already been built, according to Chaim Richman, the director of the Temple Institute in Jerusalem, whose headquarters are located not far from the Western Wall in the Old City. The Institute has already produced more than 60 precious temple vessels, which will be necessary for worship in the upcoming.
So let's look at that right quick. So like I said before, what a lot of people don't understand is that it's two Jerusalem, it's two Israel. A wicked, you got a wicked Israel, then you got the righteous Israelites. It's the original people, with the real DNA. And so when the switch happened, I told you that they came in and stole the land, and they lived in the land from 143 BC to 70 AD, and they was kicked out. So, but they got the whole world fooled that people thinking that they the people of the Israelites. And so like this video is showing you, or they done built a case for them for it to look like, they got a right to be there. They got a right to be there in the land of Israel. And they got a right to rebuild this temple, right? So let me show you something. And we was just in Malachi. Let's go back to Malachi. And I want to show you something. Chapter 1 of Malachi. I'm gonna read the first 5 verses. It says, the burden of the word, they're the ones behind the New Testament. Okay, it says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, says the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein have you loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, says the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and I laid his mountain and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness, right? So he says in verse 3, I hated Esau, and I laid his mountain and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness, right? So let's see where he at when he did this. Verse 4, wherein Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. There's only one desolate place. That's in Daniel chapter 9. The abomination that make it desolate that happened in Jerusalem to the Israelites. So it says, and I will build the desolate places, thus says the Lord of hosts, and they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the borders of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Then verse 5 answers the question. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the borders of Israel. So when he judged them, they in the land of Israel. They over there right now. And they didn't return. That's what they told him in verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, we will return and build the desert places. They came back and built it up. This the fake Israelites.
Right, the Zionists. Fake Jews.
They're the ones behind the New Testament. They're the ones behind Jesus Christ. They're the ones behind all that. They're the bankers. They're the ones with the usury. They're the ones behind all that. So many people can't comprehend that. You know, as soon as you comprehend that, everything falls in place. But so they returned. They returned in 1948, like they said right here, in the South. And they rebuilt the desolate place. But look what I told you in verse 5, it says, and you shall see, and you shall say, the Lord shall be magnified from Israel, right? And in verse 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And thus said the Lord, they shall return. They return, but I will throw down. This is why, this is the big old stink about Ukraine. Ukraine is a homeland. They're trying to get that back because they know what's getting ready to happen over here. They're looking at all the signs.
Right.
They know what's going to happen in Jerusalem, right? So they're trying to get out of there. And they're trying to reclaim their own homeland, which is Ukraine, where they came from. That's what you see behind. That's what you see. These people are super slick. Like I said, when they like I said, you got people. I mean, I'm bedazzled by it, but you got people going to the Psalms, and it's all the Psalms about David. You can't go to Psalms about nobody else. Everything in the Psalms is about David. You can't cross-reference it to nothing else. It's ludicrous if you do. It's crazy.
Right.
David, all that is about David. And so anybody, all you have to do is, and what they did was they went and cross-referenced it and put it on David on another character, saying that David was talking about this character. But David is in an all-out relationship with the Lord. That's what all the Psalms about. It ain't about nothing else. It's about his relationship with Yahweh. Okay, so yeah, I had peeped out something else I want to inject right quick was, and I'm asking everybody, I'm crying out to anybody to go do the research. Anybody know who Janus is? Janus.
I heard his name before, but I can't remember who put it in context.
Janus is a two-faced God. You got a man head in the front and a man head in the back. That's January is worshiping him. The month of January is worshiping Janus. You get the word January out of Janus. So what is this two-faced God? He got an elderly man head in the front with a beard, and the man in the back is a younger man. Homosexuality. That's how the Greeks operate. The older male with the younger male. That's how we see all day now. That's what we seeing with the pedophilia. That's where these people come from. So guess what? They had a temple built to Janus, right? And within that temple, dualism is pagan. Dualism is paganism. It's tied to Janus. Come on.
Yeah. If you look at the
saying?
Catholic
all
religion
this came
and the
from the Greeks
popes,
Yeah, all this stuff came from the Greeks and the Romans, which came from the fallen angels that taught them. Those 200 angels that came down taught these people all this stuff, this trickeration. Yeah, that's what dualism. That's the origin of dualism. You can't put dualism on nothing else. It's pagan. You can't look at the Most High sit there and say, I'm gonna raise David up. You can't dualize David and put it on something else. That's paganism. He's telling you, I'm gonna raise David up. Why is he saying David? Because we got a history of David back in 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Samuel. That's why he mentioned David. Because we know him. You can't put nobody else with David. That's paganism. Okay? So yeah, anybody got any comment?
Yes, speaking of that, I have a question more so. Can you put some clarity then on what verses in Isaiah 7:10 through 16? What is that about? Because that's Isaiah 7, 10 through 16. That's oftentimes when you're talking about the duality and them trying to equate the Most High to Jesus and all that. And one of the verses in my research is looking at it, and one of the most prominent verses that they try to equate that to show the equivalency to is Isaiah 7:10 through 16. But I don't understand the context of that, and I was hoping that you can kind of shed some light on that.
Oh yeah, so it says, like I said, this one of the, what I was saying, it got golden. The average person that's prescribing to Christianity don't even know the foundation of it. So this right here is one of the foundations, that he's born of a virgin. The woman the virgin had a son without no help from no kind of male assistance. So if you're trying to make it where he had a son, then you're killing one of the pillars. You destroying one of the pillars of Christianity. So it says, Isaiah chapter 7, verse 10 says, moreover, the Lord spake unto Ahaz, right? Saying. So my point is to you is, who is Ahaz? You know who Ahaz is?
No.
That's David. Most I got a covenant.
He's out of the house of David.
He's out of the house of David. No king can sit on the throne in Israel unless he's out of the seed of David.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's out of David's lineage. If he's not out of David's lineage, it's paganism.
Right.
It's an abomination.
And they love paganism.
Right. So he's saying this Isaiah talking to Ahaz, which is out of David's house. And then 11 says, ask thee a sign of the Lord, thy God. Ask it either in the depths or in the heights above. So, like I was telling you, when every time those men would come in contact with an angel, they want to know the angel name. Right? Because they know if he tell them their name, they're gonna know what his role is and who he is, because it's by his name. So the God that's over Israel, he asking Ahaz, ask me to ask him for a sign, and I'm gonna give you the sign. So then 12 says, but Ahaz said, because he feared the Lord. Ahaz said, I will not, and neither will I tempt the Lord. And he said, so Isaiah comes back and says in verse 13, and he said, hear now, O house of David. See that? He out of the house of David. It is not a small thing for you to weary men, but will you weary my God? Also, the Lord of hosts. Then 34, therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign, right? Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So who is this virgin, right? And then what's the sign? So he says, Isaiah talking. And if you go to chapter 8, you in chapter 8, verse 1?
Yeah.
Moreover. So the chapter is leading you to the understanding of what Isaiah 14 is, 10 through 14. So 8 and 1 says, moreover, the Lord said unto me, Isaiah the one told him, therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. In verse 14, moreover, the Lord said unto me, take thee a great roll, write upon it for a man's pen concerning my house. This is the boy right here, not your house, child. This is one of the pillars. This is the boy right here. That's in verse 13. Now 2 says, I took unto me 2 faithful witnesses, Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jubiah. Why? For the sign, for the virgin, they're going to have a baby, which is Isaiah's wife. Look at what it says in verse 4. verse 3, and I went unto the prophetess, that's his wife. That's the virgin, that's a woman of marriageable age. In verse 14, and she conceived and bore a son. Here go the son, the one that's up here. Mahashah, whatever that name is. That's the boy, right?
So that's Isaiah's son.
Right, that's Isaiah's son he's talking about. Not nobody in the future. So when this is discovered, you can't refer to the New Testament no more. Because this right here is a bald-faced lie. So anyway, it says, for before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoils of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. So there it is right there. That's not, this a pillar. It's a golden brace in the book, in New Testament. And it's a bald-faced lie. This ain't no virgin, ain't no virgin in it. It's the virgin, it's the reason why it's a virgin and immaculate conception, because Horus was immaculate conceived. That's what all that's tied to. But this verse right here don't have nothing to do with no New Testament whatsoever. And it's a bald-faced lie. It ain't no misprint. The scribe ain't make no misprint. He trying to hoodwink you. Because the son is right here in verse 1. Maha, whatever this boy name is. So anyway, you go to verse 8, stay in chapter 8, verse 18, and then that's the answer. Behold, Isaiah talking, behold, I and the children, the 3 sons I just showed you, whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and wonders. That's what he just told Ahaz. The Lord himself gonna give you a sign, right? The signs of these boys. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and wonders in Israel, from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth at Mount Zion. And so, like I said before, man, if somebody break this down for me, I'm overjoyed. Because they took me out of all this trickeration. And it came, Most High and raised them up to break it down. Come on. So anybody got any more comments? Questions before we go? I'm gonna read Jasher 28. Any more questions, comments? Okay. I'm in Jasher chapter 28. Anybody that's got a book of Jasher, let's go there. I'm in Jasher 28. Okay, and start reading this chapter 28, verse 1. And in those days, after the death of Abraham, in the year the Lord brought a heavy famine in the land, and while the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down into Egypt on account of the famine, and his father Abraham, as his father Abraham had done. And the Lord appeared that night to Isaac, and he said unto him, do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar, and Amalek, the king of the Philistines, and remain there till the famine shall cease. And Isaac rose up and went to Gerar, and the Lord commanded him, and he remained there a full year. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rebekah, his wife, was of beautiful countenance. And the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his wife, and he said, she is my sister, for she was afraid to say she was his wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. So let's look at this right here. I mean, this is what I'm saying about the right information. So you got people saying that they just can't get in their head to understand that it was fallen angels came down and slept with women on earth. So right here in this story, we see that it says verse 4, 28 and 4, Jasher. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw Rebekah that she was beautiful. So like I said, go to Joseph. And Joseph went to Egypt. The Israelites is totally different than everybody else. Their appearance and their countenance. The most accurate formed Adam. He didn't make no slouch. And all his descendants the same way. So they freaked out on Joseph in the land of Egypt. So they freaking out on Rebekah right here. It says, and when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw Rebekah, his wife, was a beautiful countenance. And the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his wife. And he said, she is my sister, for he was afraid to say she was his wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. And the princes of Amalek went and praised the woman to the king, but he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. But he heard them say that Isaac declared her to be his sister. So the king reserved this within himself. And when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Amalek looked out at the window and he saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife, for Isaac dwelt in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. And the king said to Isaac, what is this that thou hast done to us in saying that thy wife, she is my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people have lain with her, and though would then have brought guilt upon us. So, like I was saying before, you can just go research it on your own, but you got to ask yourself, why would he say that if ain't nothing happened? Why would he want to know? He said, you fooled us. If he found out that she was his wife and nobody had lain with her, what's the deal? Ain't no big problem. But he didn't panic. See, he says in verse 8, the king said unto Isaac, what is this that thou hast done? See that? What has he done? He ain't done. If he ain't nobody laid with her, what they done? Ain't nobody done nothing. So now go to the story with Rebekah being pregnant and the issues she had. Go to Cain and Abel and the issues that Eve had at conception. The dead cattle on the line. Anyway, so 9 says, and Isaac said unto Amalek, because I was afraid lest I die on account of my wife, therefore I said, she is my sister. And at that time, Amalek gave orders to all the princes and all the great men, and they took Isaac and Rebekah his wife and brought them before the king. And the king commanded that they should dress them in priestly garments and make them ride through the streets of the city and proclaim them before them throughout the land, saying, this is the man and this is his wife. Whosoever touches this man or his wife shall surely die. And Isaac returned with his wife to the king's house, and the Lord was with Isaac, and he continued to wax great and lack nothing. And the Lord caused Isaac to find favor in the sight of Amalek and in the sight of his subjects. And Amalek acted well with Isaac, for Amalek remembered the oath and the covenant that existed between his father and Abraham. And Amalek said unto Isaac, behold, the whole earth is before thee, wherefore it may seem good in thy sight until thou shalt return to thy land. And Amalek gave Isaac fields and vineyards and the best part of the land of Gerar to sow and reap and to eat the fruit of the ground until the days of the famine should have passed by. Okay. And Isaac sold in the land and received 100-fold in the same year. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great. And he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great store of servants. And when the days of the famine had passed away, the Lord appeared to Isaac and said unto him, rise up, go forth from this place and return to thy land, to the land of Canaan. And Isaac rose up and returned to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all belonging to him, as the Lord had commanded him. And after this, Shelach, the son of Arshadad, died in that year, which is the 18th year of the life of Jacob and Esau. And all the days of Shelach lived for 443 years, and he died. And at that time, Isaac sent his younger son Jacob to the house of Shem and Eber, and he learned the instructions of the Lord. And Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years. And Esau's brother did not go, for he was not willing to go, and he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. And Esau was continuously hunting in the fields to bring home what he could get. So did Esau all his days. So let's look at that right quick. I'm just giving you a road to go do your research. So we see Cain and Abel, and we see the difference in them. Like I said, nobody dealing with the DNA. So when they both of them born, these are the first products from the man that the Most High had formed in the very beginning. Abel is righteous. Cain wicked as hell. There's something going on. Something happened. The dead cat on the line. He wicked as hell to the point where he killed his brother. And then Cain supposed to be the firstborn. How is you so wicked? You're the first fruit. Why is he so wicked? Because Adam ain't on his father. So let's look at this right here with Esau. 17. And after this, Shelach, the son of Alshach, died in that year, which is in the 18, Joshua 28 and 17. 430 years, and he died. And at that time, look at this. You got two boys that was born. Jacob and Esau. At that time, Isaac sent his younger son, Jacob, to the house of Shem. Shem still alive. Eber, the Shem and Eber, and he learned the instructions of the Lord. This is the right knowledge. He dealing with Shem and Eber. And Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber 32 years. Then, and Esau, his brother, did not go. See that? It's a dead cat on the line. Why you ain't go? What's going on with you? See that? Esau, his brother, didn't go. He was not willing to go. He ain't give a damn. He don't care. Something going on. So he says, and Esau, his brother, did not go, and he was not willing to go. And he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. And Esau was continuously hunting in the fields to bring home what he could to get. So did he eat. So did Esau all the days of his life. So let's look at that. Now if you go to the New Testament, they're gonna wish all this away. But everybody around them is they redheads and they like to hunt. They like to hunt. They don't give a damn about the Most High laws and commandments. This is what he's doing. He ain't like the Israelites. He wanted, like everybody else around there, Amalek in the land of Gear and all them, he get red-headed, he got red hair on him, and he hunting. He don't give a damn about the Most High law. Come on. So 19 says, and Esau was 20, and Esau was a designing and a deceitful man. See that? It's DNA. Esau was a designing and a deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men. Where it's coming from? Come on. And indulged them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Seir, the same as Edom. And he remained in the land of Seir, hunting in the field a year and 4 months. So let's look at it. So Jacob then went to Eben Shem's house. Come on, if somebody told me, I wake up in the morning, somebody told me Shem house is in Missouri, I'm gone. I'm gone. So he don't want to go to Shem and Eber house, but look what here in 22, and Esau 21, and he remained in the land of Seir. He's over there with these Horites, hunting in the field a year. He at home with them, but he don't want to go with Shem and Eber. Okay, so it says he remained there a year and 4 months, and he saw in the land of Seir a daughter of the men of the Canaanites. See that? And her name was Judah, the daughter of Beer of Ephraim, whatever his name, from the families of Heth, the son of Canaan. And Esau took her for a wife, and he came under her 40 years, came unto her. 40 years old was Esau when he took her, and he brought her to Ahorim, and the land of his father's dwelling place, and he dwelt there. And it came to pass in those days, in the 110th year of the life of Isaac, that is in the 50th year of the life of Jacob. In that year died Shem, the son of Noah. Shem was 600 years old at his death. And when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father, to Abram, which is in the land of Canaan. And in the 56th year of the life of Jacob, people came from Haran, and Rebekah was told concerning her brother Laman, the son of Bethel, for his wife Laman was barren in those days and bore no children, and also all his handmaidens bore none to him. And the Lord afterwards remembered Adonai, the wife of Laban, and she conceived and bore twin daughters. Laban called the names of his daughters the names of the elder Leah and the name of the younger Rachel. It says, and those people came and told these things to Rebekah, and Rebekah rejoiced greatly that the Lord had visited her brother and that he had got children. So that's the end of Jasher chapter 28. So notice Rebecca was informed her brother for the longest had wife was barren, and then all of a sudden, after Jacob is born, and now he opened up Laban's wife's womb, and she had Rachel and Leah. Well, guess who Rachel and Leah is? That's who Jacob married.
Right.
So then 29. So those people came and told these things to Rebecca, and Rebecca rejoiced greatly that the Lord had visited her brother, and that he had got children. So see how these ain't no typos. It's some clowns in here trying to mislead you in the King James. So Rebecca and them she already knew. When she sent him to Laman's house, she already knew he had 2 girls there. She told him to go there and get a wife, and she told him to go to Laban because she already know he got 2 girls there. Come on.
I never knew they were twins.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Cain and Abel is twins. Peleg, Joktan and Peleg are twins. So anyway, it's a Derek Kelvin line. These ain't no typos. It's some devious, deceitful, wicked ass people that got hold to our scriptures. Until that register, you're gonna be forever falling backwards in the dark, because he's telling you that. He's telling us that when he made the covenant with David. There's some wicked people on earth. I gotta watch over you to keep you in line away from them. And as long as you adhere to me and do my law, statutes, and judgment, I'm gonna watch over you. But as soon as you deviate from me, I'm gonna cast you off. And you're gonna live amongst them. They're gonna make you forget me. That's where we at. That's where we was at till Isaiah 44. And we in the midst of Isaiah 44, where he waking us up. He poured his spirit out on us. Well, yeah, these same people he talking about in 2 Samuel chapter 7, they got hold to our scriptures. The Gentiles, the Greeks and the Romans and the Gentiles. That's his 3rd and 4th beast. Okay.
Well, I wanted to add, that's why we have to renew our spirits daily and study to show ourselves approved.
Exactly. Right. And then, like I was saying before, we know when the truth comes. Believe me, you got the spirit. This says that the Pharaoh told Daniel, "I see the spirit of God in you." They knew that. All these pagans, wicked ass folks, and they telling Daniel, "We see the spirit of God in you." So when the truth comes. You can fumble with it if you want, but when the truth comes. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, anybody got any more questions before we jet up, leave?
Shalom. I have a question / comment, and I hope I asked this right. Okay. Just like you read about Jacob and Esau, right? You said something not right. We know something's not right, right? But with today, I want to talk about today's time, right? You have 2 sisters, 2 brothers, or whatever, same mother, father, right? And you have a brother that is going out doing the most, all kind of wicked things. Does that come from the intermingling? You don't know what you're gonna get, because you can have a black man, black woman, like I said, they have 4 or 5 children or whatever, but one of those children out of that bunch is gonna do the most.
Right.
So how do
Right.
explain that in today's view?
Well, it's not something that just recently came on the scene. You got to go back
Okay.
to the very beginning, Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean by not these people have done as far as definitions. They didn't give you definition they want you to have to lead you to this pagan God and gave you a New Testament. So they tricked off definitions and words and all that. So let's look at it. And like I say, when the truth comes, you know it's the truth.
Right.
So you deal with it on your own. It's on a particular person. So anyway, right, let's look at it. So it says, let's get it. Yeah, chapter 5. My bad. I'm tripping. So I'm in chapter 5 of Genesis, right? You there?
Yes, sir.
Start at verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man in his likeness, and God made he him. So first of all, this is the name of the book. This is the book of the generations of Adam. That's the name of the book, not Genesis. Anyway, 2, male and female created he them and blessed them and called their names Adam in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, begot sons in his likeness and in his likeness after his image, and called. See that? Called himself. Is self-righteous? Hello.
I'm here. Yes.
He says 3. And Adam lived 330 years and begot a son, right? In his own likeness and after his image, and called. See that? Called his name
Yes.
Seth, right?
Okay. Yes.
So now keep going. And in the days of Adam, after he had begot Seth, were 800 years, and he begot other sons and daughters. See? So he called one of them. He called self-righteous. See that?
Yes.
Now 5. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years, and he begot Enos. And Seth lived after he had begot Enos 807 years, and he begot other sons and daughters. So see, he called Enos, right? So we know it's 10 men before the flood that they called. They got other kids, but they called these ones right there was called. You see that?
Yes, I do now.
That's the same thing going on now. Most High called. He the one giving the seeds out.
Okay.
So let's go to Isaiah. I'll give you a prime example. This is the covenant. This is the first hand covenant. First hand of the covenant he got with David. It ain't got nothing to do with the New Testament. So I'm in Isaiah chapter 1. Keep in mind what I just showed you. Now, the vision of Isaiah, this Isaiah, son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, in the days of Uzi, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. 4 men, right? All of them out of David lineage. Go back to 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Uzi, wicked as hell. Jotham, wicked as hell. Ahaz, we just talked about him.
Right.
Ahaz, wicked as hell. Then Hezekiah. He called Hezekiah. He called Hezekiah. Come on.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Yes.
Yeah. So that's how you write divide the scriptures. You can't jump from that to over to some more stuff. This how to read the scriptures. If it don't line up with that right there, then it's a dead calendar line.
Right.
You can't make it work. Yeah.
Brother Leonard.
It explains so much.
Right.
Yes, it did, Michelle. So, Brother Leonard, to go back to what Tasha was talking about, to bring it to today, if we think about the forefathers, it brings us right back to what you said just now about the calling. So those that fell under him, the ones that are called, that's the lineage of those that'll be saved.
Right. Them the ones he's dealing with. And so, like I was saying, another thing, when just like that came to the light, he keep on telling you, I'm gonna cover you under my wings. He ain't saying wings just for the hell of it. He got wings. He says, I'm gonna cover. Let me give you an example. Just like he's telling you in Isaiah 37, I'm gonna raise up David. He ain't saying nothing about nobody else. He ain't off. He ain't saying I'm retarded. He said, I'm gonna raise up David. So let's look at this right here. This in Malachi. We were just there, chapter 4. And so if it don't line up with this right here, then it's off. You can't. The meat is in the Old Testament. You can't make the Old Testament line up with the New. If the New don't line up with the Old, it's a dead cat on the line. So anyway, Malachi, chapter 4. So he says right here, verse 4, chapter 4, Malachi, verse 1. For behold, the day coming that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Now here we go. Verse 2. But unto you that fear my name, he talking to the Israelites. Unto you that fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in his wings. See that? What wings? He just put wings there just for the hell of it? So he says, in healing in his wings, and you shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall. So whoever this Lord of hosts is in verse 1, he got wings. And he said that David tell you that all through the Psalms.
Yeah,
Cover me with your wings.
says that yes in Psalms 91. Yes.
You started funding with it. Come on. So let's go a little further with that right quick. You know, we gotta go. So I'm in Ezekiel chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1. Verse 23. I'm sorry, Ezekiel 1 and 23. We see in chapter 1 of Ezekiel, verse 4, Yahweh is in a cloud, but he got 4 angels in the cloud with him, 4 creatures. So we're gonna go to 22. And the likeness of the firmament. So the prophets, our forefathers, the righteous, our forefathers, with Israelite names, telling us that he giving us an account of what's going on, so we can use that account later on. So 22 says, and the likeness of the firmament above the heads of the head of the living creatures was the color of a terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above, and under the firmament were their wings. See that? So you see his wings right here, but you ain't dealing with the wings over there. So he says, and under the firmament were their wings straight, and one toward the other. Everyone had 2, which covered on this side, and everyone had 2 that covered on that side, on that side of their bodies. And when they went, we heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of a great waters, as the voice of a multitude, as the voice of a speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. See that? So they got wings. And so the person over there telling you the same thing. David telling you all through the Psalms. The person he's dealing with, he asking, he praying, telling for him to cover him with his wings. He ain't saying, he said, what he's saying it for? He's just saying for the hell of it? Come on. And so like I said, you can't see none of that as long as you follow the narrative they give you. You read a verse over in the Old Testament, then they give you a precept on it. Go to the New Testament. You ain't gonna never get the understanding as long as you following what these clowns are set up for you to follow. But if you read it with understanding and rightly divided, it's gonna come right there in your face. You can't get out of it. Yeah, stop and think about it. Why? What the hell? You talking, all of a sudden you bring up some wings? What you talking about? Why are you bringing up wings? Come on. Okay. Yeah. So everybody got any other questions? Everybody good?
Oh yes,
Yes,
awesome class.
there was a lot of clarification. Thank you so much. Let us continue to study right on.
Oh yeah, it's all You got to build off of that. Okay. So with that being said, I want to say shalom to everybody. And we're gonna be on the conference call tomorrow night. Everybody got that number, right?
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll see everybody tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Shalom.
No.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.